once we've installed the Actifio connector, and the only way we'll have discovered the application is if we did install the connector. Once we've installed that connector, then there is a folder that gets created by the connector under AIX scripts, DB2 in-band scripts, and you can see that there are 7 files in here. Now, obviously what you want to do is grab the README and have a read of it, but what you'll need to do is make another folder called /act/scripts. That folder won't exist by default unless someone's gone and physically made it. Now, this folder is significant because when the connector runs the snapshot, or rather when Actifio runs the snapshot and talks to the connector, it will check for the presence of a file called appid dot and then the app ID, the actual application ID, which we can get from the Actifio desktop or we can get from CLI. Now, what we need to do, as I said, is that we need to go and look in this folder, AIX scripts in-band scripts, grab these 5 files, everything that's not the README, and put it into a folder we're going to create called AIX scripts. And then we need to rename these 3 files, appid dot, freeze dot, and Thor dot with the app ID. So 3 manual steps we're going to have to do. The first step is make the folder. The second step is copy the files into the folder, and the third step is rename the files with these with the app ID. So they're no longer .xxxxx, they've actually got the app ID. There is one more step after that we need to do. We need to customize the freeze and the Thor files. The app ID file, just to show you this particular file, what it does is it looks for init, freeze, unfreeze, and fini coming from the connector. And for each one, it's going to run a script. So it's going to run an external script, which will either be the freeze script or the Thor script. So the freeze and the Thor script therefore become more interesting. So if we go and have a look at those, now, the way that we customize this is purely up to you. It looks like we're giving you way too many choices, but it's actually good. Down the bottom here, and this is the only part you need to customize, there is a series of 7 commands, all of which are hashed out. You have to unhash at least one of them. Now, my recommendation is that you hash out either this one here, or this one here. That's the easiest thing to do. Now, what I've done here is that I've actually chosen this one here, and all of these are valid. Now, why are there several choices? Because if you actually choose this one, there's no customization. All you need to do is unhash that line. As root, and that's as user root, it will take the action to suspend the DB2 database. If you need to, instead, you could change this service account to DB2 inst1. See, I've manually changed it, so this is no longer default. I've changed the term service account to DB2 inst1. So that top line, I simply give it the username and unhash that, and what we'll do is it will run as that user and run the suspend, and it will suspend every instance and every database on the server. If there's a specific instance you want to suspend and you don't want to suspend another, so you've got multiple DB2 instances, we could unhash this one. So in this case, you can see I'm running against this user against this instance, and I'm suspending every database. Or I could get down to where I only suspend a particular. Obviously, if you've got multiple databases and multiple instances, you're going to have to add multiple lines here. But you can see, it looks like you've got a lot of choices. Actually, just simply take the choice that makes the most sense. So it's really not that difficult. Now, obviously, that's the freeze. You need to make exactly the same choice in the Thor. Now, you can see here I've chosen the same route where I've actually customized the file and said, run this command using this user against this instance and do the resume. Okay, so once I've done all of these things, I'm now ready to kick on with an in-band snapshot.
Thank you for joining us for another YouTube Tech Tip video. If you like the content you're seeing on this channel, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you will be alerted to any future content.